Today we're talking about being understanding. Speaking on this because God is understanding. God is understanding to everything with us. And he loves us regardless of what we do. And he's very understanding. Slow to anger and understanding to us. I'm speaking on this because a lot of times in relationships or just friendships or just with family and everything, we always have disagreements, conflicts, arguments, whatever you want to call it. And we want the other person to understand us, right? You want someone to understand you. Like when you're in a relationship and you have an argument with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and they don't understand what you're saying, but you want them to understand you, right? And they may be doing the same thing. They're trying to explain something to you based off of their thoughts, their feelings, their opinion, whatever. And they want you to understand them. So both of y'all go back and forth and y'all never see eye to eye because you don't understand each other. But in the scriptures, God speaks on being understanding a lot. And he's understanding to us. That is the reason why he speaks on it, because he wants us to be understanding. So I'm going to read a scripture. In Proverbs 18:2, it says, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." Basically, just like I said, when we have arguments and conflict, we rarely understand the other person, and then we're even more mad at each other. Even our parents, we want our parents to understand us so that they can respect us and we'll feel loved. See, when God understands us, but our parents don't understand us, we feel loved by him, but we don't feel loved by them. And yeah, you could think to yourself, yeah, they love me, but you don't feel it. And in a relationship, they say they love you, but you don't feel it, right? But if that person understands you, you would feel it. So God tells you to be understanding to them because God is understanding to you, and God is love, and love is giving. So he's not as much talking about what that person does to you, but what you do for them. So there's another scripture. It says in Proverbs 3:13-18 says, "Blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than gain from silver, and her profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are at pleasantness, and her paths are peace." See, when you give a person understanding, there is peace because they feel loved. See, there's no continuance of back and forth bittering because this person feels like you respect them. They feel like you understand them, kind of like what Jesus does to you. So I'm also speaking on this because we really don't have understanding. We go off of our own understanding. We look at things like, say, in a relationship, you look at this person and you're like, they're angry at you, so you get angry back. They're defensive with you, so you get defensive back, right? That's because you're going off your own understanding. But if you looked at what is that anger about, you'll be more quicker to be more understanding. So there's another scripture in Proverbs 3:5. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding." Why does it say that? Because your understanding is not understanding. That's why you can't communicate with that person, because you're going off of your understanding. You're going off of only what you see. You're not truly trying to seek what's going on. You're not trying to understand. You're thinking about yourself. See, God says, when you think about yourself, that's full of evil. You don't get peace from thinking about yourself. You get peace from thinking about them. See, God gives to you. That's why you're peaceful through him. And he's trying to teach you to do the same thing. I've seen this in my life. How many times I wanted someone else to be understanding of me, but they at the same time wanted me to be understanding of them. And we just going back and forth, and we mad, in relationships, and then we end up breaking up with each other. So, I see this and it don't make no sense to me. But also the same thing goes with the scriptures, right? When you look in the scriptures, how can so many people see the same thing but not everybody understand it. And you may say that everybody has their own interpretation, but that may be true in some ways, but how did Jesus have the crowd with him, but he only blessed those who are not in the crowd? You ever paid attention to that in the stories? The crowd was right there, but the lady went through the crowd and touched his garment. See, the crowd was walking with him, walking up the street, but the man on the street corner that wasn't in the crowd yelled to Jesus twice, and Jesus came to him. He didn't bless the crowd, but he was right there, right? So if you think about us, a lot of us see the scriptures, right? But a lot of us don't truly understand. How many people walk through and go, say they Christians or say that they love God, but do you feel the love of God? But then there's a very few that actually show you the love of God, right? Because it's only few that understand. See, when you look at the scriptures, everybody can see the scriptures, right? It's just like looking on the ground. Everybody can see the ground. We all walking on the ground. We can see it. But there's only very few that try to wonder what's under this ground. It might be some treasure under this ground. Because how can everybody up here be with God, but very few give love of God, but they scream it? You get what I'm saying? And this ain't to be talking about nobody. This is the truth. If you look in the scriptures, this is the truth. The Pharisees and the religious law leaders, they all knew the Bible scriptures, They all did the religious things, they did their sacred things. They prayed every day, you know what I'm saying? They washed their hands to represent religion. They walked around in different clothing than everyone else, right? But when Jesus came, Jesus said that they were religious. Jesus said that they didn't understand. Jesus said, I came for the sick. But they claimed that they knew things. They claimed that they weren't sick. See, they saw the scriptures, but they didn't understand the scriptures. Jesus didn't help them because they didn't tell him that we don't understand. They only saw and they took from what they saw. You get what I'm saying? So the truth is, do you understand? Do you want to understand? When you look in the scriptures, do you see it and you take from your understanding? Or do you look and ask God, help me understand? When you see anger, do you just see anger and you respond because of what you see? Or when you see anger, do you try to understand what anger is? When you see sadness, do you try to understand what sadness is? When you see a person hurt, do you try to understand what it is? Because you can see it and not understand it. And you'll react off of how you see it. Get what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you saw a flower that was dying, right? You saw a flower that was dying. Yeah, it looked dead. So do you just say it's dead? Because that's what you see. You see a dead flower, so you call it dead, right? Or do you try to find out why is it dying? Right? Because something that's dying lacks something. Right? But see, a flower lacks water and lacks light when it's dying. So that's the cause of a flower dying. But see, God is the water. God is the water, and water gives life, right? Water gives life to a flower and the sun. But see, God provides us with the water, and we give the water to others. So if you see anger, it's a lack of something. If you see sadness, it's a lack of something. So God provides you with what they lack. You get it from him because God is the water. God is the well that provides the water. You go to him and you get the water out of him and you provide this person with what they lack. Anger is there because they lack love. They lack being understood. They lack being heard. Pain is there because they lack love. So you provide it to them. God has given it to you to give to them. So the same thing that you want from others, you give it to them. When you want someone to understand you because you're upset, you're angry, God says, look, they don't understand. Because all they see, all they do, all they speak is what they see. See, speak love. See to understand. Look to understand. When you look at the scriptures, don't be like those who just look and they take off of what they see. No, look and understand that there's treasure in this. Bless someone with the water God has given you. Because the water provides life. So I thank y'all. I hope y'all understood this. I hope you're able to get the understanding of it and give it to others.